What up, everybody? What's going on? Let me know if you can hear me. All right. You know what? I'm gonna get me a microphone and some headphones. Let me know if you can still hear me. Sounds like I'm coming good on my end. How's it sound on you guys' end? All right. Cool. I'm gonna wait another minute or so and I'm gonna go ahead and get started. The topic of discussion is respect. And I know y'all thinking about, like, what does respect have to do with mobile detailing and the mobile detailer business? Well, it means everything. It means everything. I mean, I constantly, I'm always thinking. I'm always thinking. And I'm always thinking about, I'm always thinking about the beginning. I always thinking about, like, when I first started. I always bring myself back to that point to humble myself. Um, I think about the mistakes, think about the things that worked. I'm always thinking about the things that I went through. Sometimes I laugh. Um, and I'm glad that I started making YouTube videos. I wish I wish that um, I wish that I had videos from year one. I started my business in 2012, and then I started making my videos 2015. And I always wished I would have started, year one. Then I'll have something to look back on. But nonetheless, I'm glad I started it, period. But I remember this particular situation. I remember I first got my flyers, and at the time I wasn't doing detailing. I was only doing lawn care. So I went through the neighborhood. I went through different neighborhoods, and I was passing out, putting my flyers on mailboxes. And I can remember Ashton. Ashton had to be about. Ashton had to be about like maybe seven or eight at the time. And he was helping me put flyers on mailboxes, and we was just going through neighborhoods and everything. and I started getting phone calls. It took a while for phone calls. I want to say it took like maybe a month or two before I started getting phone calls. So I started going to answer these phone calls, and I'm giving estimates, and I finally get a yard. So I'm doing a yard in one of the neighborhoods that I targeted, and I think I was getting like $45 for this particular yard. So I remember it was on a weekend, it was on a Saturday, and I'm out there mowing this lawn and doing everything, and this lady, she pulls up and she says to me, um, could she was like, can you trim my bushes? And her house is like, literally it was like almost across the street. And she was like, yeah, that's my house right there. So I look at the house, it had bushes all around the house. So I'm looking at the house, and at the time I only had the little handheld trimmers. So I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I could do it. I was like, yeah, I could do it. And so I get out there and I started doing the yard. And I started doing the bushes and everything. And she was excited. She was happy that I was doing the bushes or whatever. And so uh, she invites me in her house, and I think she gives me something to drink, and then she pays me. And then, I asked her, hey, I'm like, hey, could I, do you need someone to do your yard like every week or every 2 weeks or whatever? And she was like, yeah, you can do my yard every week. So I was excited. I got a new customer. Not only that, I got two customers in this neighborhood. And I could come cut the yards at the same time and, be making more money and whatever. And so she was like, okay, cool. I'm excited about it. So I started doing her lawn and everything. And I want to say I'm maybe like a month or so into it, and the bushes grow back. So I was like, hey, you want me to trim your bushes again? And she was like, yeah. So I cut the yard, I trimmed the bushes, and I get back. She wasn't there. So I actually had to come back. She didn't stay far from me. So I actually had to come back to get paid. So when I come back to get paid, when I tell her how much it is, she looks at me and say, I'm not paying you that. This is how she looks at me. And I don't know what it was about me at the time or what energy I was giving off, but for some reason, she felt that I guess she felt that I didn't deserve that amount, or I wasn't worth that amount, or that she shouldn't give me that amount. But some reason she just started to feel that way. And we had some conversations about the business or whatever, and I don't know what vibe I was giving off, but she felt that she just was not going to pay me what I was asking for. I mean, this is year one. I'm maybe 3 or 4 months in my business. And so, I was dumbfounded. I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. So I think I just said, well, you know what? I can't remember what the price was, but let's say the price was $100. So when I told her $100, she said, I'm not going to pay you that. And then I was like, all right, well, just give me $75. So she gave me $75, and I felt so disrespected. But, me, I got a quick temper. The only thing I was thinking about was not blowing, like not going off, not cussing her out, not getting mad. That was the only thing that I was thinking about. So I was like, well, let me just get what I can get and, you know, live to fight another day. So I left, and that that bothered me. So I just decided not to ever go back. And that's what I did. I never went back. She never called me to see why I didn't come back, and I never called her to tell her I wasn't coming back. But the more and more I think about that situation, it was all about respect. I don't know why she did not respect me. You know, maybe it was, you know, maybe it was that she felt I was new. It could have been because it could have been because I was black. I don't know. But the husband, I was dealing with the wife, and the husband, you can kind of tell that the husband did not like me for some reason. Now, I don't know these people, and I never thought to myself, no, you initially came to me for my services. But maybe something I said or something that I did let her know that I was new to the game, or that she can, that she can get over on me. And then she kept trying to tell me, she kept telling me about this other guy that did lawn care. She kept telling me, I can't remember what it was, but basically she was just telling me, yo, you should do like him. You should be like him. It was something she was saying. So if she's trying to tell me how to run my business, obviously she thinks that I don't know how to run a business. So that's still that situation stick with me, and I still think about it. And that happened in 2012, and that still sticks with me to this day. And all these situations, that the next situation I'm gonna tell you about is it's also it's disrespect, but it still falls under the title of respect. I had another customer. I would go and cut her yard. She had 2 properties. She had a business property, and she had her residence. And I would go there to do both yards on the same day. So at first, everything started out good. Usually that's how it starts. Everything starts off good, and people like to test you. They'll say certain things, they'll do certain things, and I guess they're just trying to gauge you to see how far they can go and what they can get away with. So everything was good. I'm cutting the yard. I'm getting paid. No problems. Well, one day I go there and I cut a yard, and I started to feel, I just like something's not right about this. Didn't like it. I would have to cut a yard, and then I would always have to come back and go to her business to pick up my check or the payment or whatever. And I would have to do this every time. And this particular property was a good drive from my house. And I would send her text messages. I would call her. Won't answer the phone. Won't respond. And I would have to catch her while she's at her place of business. And one day I go up there. It was on a weekend, and I would just so happen to be in the area. So I stopped by. Her car was parked out front. I knew she was there. I knock on the door. This lady literally stands up, looks out, from where she was sitting, stands up, looks past the wall. She clears the wall to look to see, and she saw it was me. She saw that I saw her. She saw, how am I say this? She saw me see her, if that makes any sense. And she sat back down. And I know she saw me, and she saw that I saw her. And, so I leave, or whatever. In a couple of days, I got my money or whatever. Now, this lady will always pay me, but she will pay me when she felt like it. And I had other customers that did me the same way. But it wasn't many. I might have had like maybe two or three that would do that. And at the time, I had probably like 40 something customers. It wasn't until I started getting good customers that will pay me ahead of time, or that will leave the money under the mat and tell me, look, we're gonna leave the money under the mat. Or if they wasn't at home, they would drop by my house and drop the payment off. Um, you know, they had respect for what I was doing for them, and they had respect for me, and they would, always treat me as such. And so that's when I started. It was at that moment I started realizing that, you know what, I don't need to deal with these people anymore. And it wasn't until I saw the good, until I could really, till I had something to compare it to. Like when I had a good client, and when I compare them to a client or a customer that wasn't so good, it was like, well, if I got 15 or 20 clients or customers that are just no problems, they respect everything I do, like, why am I worried about the three that don't? And then I'm starting to see these customers are, Christmas bonuses, tipping me, just showing me that they appreciate me, And I really think that when someone tips you, that is a good sign. That's respect. When somebody tips you, that's respect. They showing like, listen, I appreciate you. I respect you for what you're doing. Thanks. And here's a tip. Now everybody don't tip because of that. Some people tip because that's their custom, or that's what they're accustomed to, and that's what they've been doing for years or whatever. But some people, and I think most people tip you out of to show you that they appreciate what you're doing. So that's when I started realizing, like, okay, I'm never, and I told myself this, I'm never going to do business or do any work for anybody that does not respect me. The first sign of disrespect, I'm going to check it. I'm going to bring it up. And if it's not settled in that conversation, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing work for them anymore. Just think about the people that you don't respect. Just right now, look up, think about someone that you don't respect, that you have lost respect for, you never had respect for. And would you pay for any of their services? Just think about it. Would you pay for any of their services? A person that I don't respect can't give me advice. They can't tell me anything. I won't listen to anything they have to say. And it makes sense. Now, if you, now, also with this respect, you got to respect your clients and customers as well. It's not one sided. You got to respect them as well. You got to respect their time. If you tell them you're going to do something, be a man of your word or a woman of your word. And if things change and you can't keep your word, let them know that things have changed and you're going to have to reschedule. You're going to have to make some changes. And that communication, that communication, is vital. Like, I have, like, all of my customers, I have no bad customers. I don't have one bad customer. Like, if I had to let a customer go, it'd be really difficult to let one go at this moment. I don't have not one bad customer. All my customers, I respect them. They respect me. I'm very, very busy. They understand that. If I can't make it to them, they know that I'm busy. But if I forget to call them, they call me. I always answer my phone. I always call back. I treat them the way I would like to be treated. And that goes a long way. But like again, man, just think about, if you got to carry yourself a certain way. You got to carry yourself a certain way, because I would always think to myself, what did I do to deserve this type of disrespect? I mean, I got more stories. I was telling y'all about the one when I showed y'all the text messages with the lady that she called me about. She called me. This was last November. I think it was last November. No. I'm sorry. It was like either last September or last October. She called me to clean her gutters, and I'm like, yeah, I'll clean your gutters, and I gave her a time frame where I have it done, and she agreed with it. Everything was cool, and when I show up, somebody else was there cutting the yard and doing the gutters, which is my job, and I texted her to say, hey, what's going on? And she had been disrespectful all year. And she's like, what did she say? She was like, yeah, she was like, that's strange. Like, she didn't know what was going on. Like, that's odd, that's strange. And she says, well, I'll contact my property manager. And I'm not an idiot, because sometimes like I conversate, I have conversations and I talk to some of my customers, and some of them I don't talk to them much. I just I just do the job and I send them an invoice. We don't have a lot of interaction, but so sometimes I think maybe they think you just some dumb lawn care guy, like, or some dumb detail or some dumb car wash. You just to help. You don't know anything. You're stupid. But she says, yeah, I'll text my property manager. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you text your property manager about lawn care? If I've been doing your lawn care and I've never talked to your property manager, your property manager doesn't call me to come do your yard. I deal with you. So why would you have to talk to your property manager? But I said, okay, let's see where it goes. I give you the benefit of the doubt. Okay, let's see where it goes. And so I fall back, and I didn't hear anything. So I'm just sitting here like, wow. So, I got so much work going on that I don't have time to worry about, one person. So I just let it go. I was like, all right, cool, But I wasn't going back to her properties until I heard something about that situation. Never did hear anything. So the top of the following year, which was this year, the top of this year, she contacted me. And she was like, hey, have you been going out looking at the yards? And I didn't respond. And then she texted me again and was like, hey, could you please let us know what needs to be done? We need to get these things done or whatever. I didn't respond. So she contacted somebody that I know, and she was like, hey, is Anthony still in business? And then that's what pissed me off. Like, now you're just taking this too far. I said, okay. So I decided to respond back. So I just texted her back and just told her, like, back in September when, you told me to come do the gutters, I show up to do the gutters. Somebody else is doing the gutters. I reached out to you to ask you what's going on, but you told me you'll get back with me. You'll check with this person. You'll get back with me. I didn't hear from you. That was disrespectful. And so that way I see, and before then I was doing both properties. I was sending her invoices, and she would go weeks. Like, she'll go, like, sometimes it'll be time to cut her yard again, and she hasn't paid the invoice for 2 weeks ago. That type of stuff. And she was doing that a lot. And I'm talking about, I think I had been doing her yard for maybe 3 years or more, maybe 3 years or something like that. And maybe the first year it was fine. Then the second year, it was like, okay, you paying the invoices 2-3 days late, and then then the last year, it was a week late, 2 weeks late, and I'm steady texting you, don't forget to pay your invoice, and I'm not hearing anything back. I'm not getting anything back. So for you not to even respond to my messages is a form of disrespect. So, so after that, and so after that, I just said to myself, like, okay, so that's when I sent her the text message, told her that, like, hey, because of that, I'm not doing yard anymore. Now, you remember the lady I was just telling you about that I went to her place of business, and then she looked over and saw I was standing there, and she know I was there, and then she didn't even come to the door. She just let me just stand there. So recently I ran into a mutual friend, and for some reason she brought it up because I hadn't thought about this person in a while. She brought her up, and she was like, yeah, she's having problems getting a lawn care guy now, and she said that, and she was like, yo, when Anthony was doing the yard, I didn't have no problems. I mean, he ain't nobody been as good as him, but for I don't know what it is. For some reason, she felt the need to disrespect and not respect me. So that's it. Once it could be the way you look, it could be the way you talk, it could be something you said, and so make sure you're on the up and up. But I know as far as A&A, as far as my business, that I did everything to the best of my ability to be outstanding, upstanding, and do what I supposed to do. And for some reason, she felt the need to disrespect me or not respect me. And well, she's never disrespected me, but she didn't respect me. So it wasn't like she go out of her way to be to be disrespectful, like coming at me with anything, but it was just the way she would handle me when it came time for me to get paid, which I didn't appreciate. But it was kind of, I liked hearing that that I was glad that she said that, because that confirmed that I did nothing wrong. So the thing is, guys, man, in this business, man, you want those high paying jobs. You want those good customers. You want those good clients. You have to carry yourself with respect. Because if they don't respect you, things like that are going to happen. And if you know in your heart, and you know without a doubt that you've done everything you're supposed to do, and you're being, trustworthy, and you're doing what you're supposed to do, and you're doing good work, and they and they be disrespectful, and people being disrespectful or not respecting you has nothing to do with payments. I'm just using that as an example, because I've had people say things to me that I didn't appreciate, or talk to me in a certain way that I didn't appreciate, and I had to nip that in the bud, because sometimes, and it's not all about getting payments. I was just giving y'all examples. It's not all about getting the money and all that, because people can pay you on time and tip you and still be disrespectful. So my point is, the minute you sense it, and you want to be sure, you want to make sure that it's not you, that you're not in a bad space, or you having a bad day. You may be taking it the wrong way, but make sure that you're being disrespectful, that they're being disrespectful, or they're not respecting you. As soon as you feel it, you nip it in the bud, because you got to understand, they are not your boss. You're providing them a service. You agree on what needs to be done. You agree on the price, and you complete that service. You will not be disrespected. You will not be disrespected, because y'all, you got to understand, and that was my problem, because me coming from a job, like, most of us work jobs. Like, a lot of us didn't come out of college, or didn't come out of high school running our own business. We work for someone. And when you're used to working for someone, you're used to like, okay, not saying what you really want to say, or not confront somebody, because it may be the end of your job, or it may not go the way that you want it to go. It may get out of hand. So you don't say anything. You put up with it. But You remain professional. Don't curse anybody out. Don't. And if you find yourself getting angry to the point like that, then you're just gonna have to walk away from that situation and then try to talk about it another day. And I had to do that in a lot of situations because I have a bad temper, and I know it may not look like it, but it's something that I work on every day. I got a real bad temper, and if I feel like you're crossing the line, I will check you. But I can't check you the way that I want to, so I got to be tactful and come up with a tactful, professional way to get my point across. And so that's what I did, man. It was just like I just started. I just put my foot down. I just wasn't going to take any form of disrespect. I had another situation. Also, this is lawn care, and most of my problems was with lawn care, like with detailing. I rarely had any problems, but see, lawn care, you're dealing with the same person, every week, every 2 weeks, every month. You're dealing with this person on a consistent basis. So I guess they can get a feel of you with the interactions that y'all having over the years. They get a feel for you, and then they try. I guess they try to get over. And so I had one she started off trying to be disrespectful, and I had to nip it in the bud. And this one right here, I remember, well, I'll just give, it was a couple of situations with this one, but I'll just give you one. So one day I show up. Okay, I'll give you two situations because it'll make more sense. All right, so I go over there, and like October, it starts getting dark early, like like in the summertime. It probably doesn't start getting dark till like 8 o'clock, 8:15, and when it hits like September, October, it starts getting dark like maybe like 7:30, and then there's or sometimes 6 something, or 6:45, 6:55, it starts getting dark. But you're not realizing that the times are changing, and you notice it's getting darker a little earlier, but you still think you got enough time. So I showed up to the house. It was still daylight when I was cutting the yard, and while I was there, it started getting dark. So I make it to the backyard, and I'm weed eating, and she comes outside, and she's like, "Oh, we'll see you tomorrow." So when she said that, I assumed that she was saying that it's getting dark, that she'll see me tomorrow about the payment, which I was like, cool, So she goes in the house. I continue to work. She comes out. She was like, "We'll see you tomorrow." And I'm like, oh, she wants me to leave. So I said, "Hey, you want me to leave?" And she was like, "Yes." So I said, "Okay, cool." I didn't fault her for that. Because it was getting dark, and some people don't like you, around their property when it's dark. I get it. So I said, okay, cool. So I kind of got to a stopping point. I blew, all the stuff off the yard and everything. I mean, off the driveway and everything. And I went home. I was like, I'll just come back in the morning and finish up. So so I came back the next day. I finished it up. No big deal, right? All right. So I made a mental note not to come to this house late. All right. So, time had passed. I show up, to cut the yard. I was cutting the yard every 2 weeks. I show up, and I start cutting the yard. She comes outside, and she was like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "See, we had problems with this before." And I'm like, "What do you mean we had problems?" And you just showing up and not letting us know that you're on your way. And I said, "Ma'am, I've been cutting this yard for 3 years. I never call you to let you know I'm on my way. I just show up on a time that we agreed on already. Why would I have to call you?" And so she was like, "Well, my kids, they're very protective of their mother, and the kids were like they were young. They was like, I think the oldest one had to be 5, the other one had to be like either 3 or 4. They were young, and they're very protective of their mother, and they was talking about it's a man it's a man outside, it's a man outside, and I'm thinking to myself like, yo, you're lying, because I know you hear this lawnmower and this weed eater, and I cut your yard for 3 years. Why would you think a stranger is out there? Why would you think a stranger is out there? You hear the equipment. When you hear the equipment, you just peek outside. It's your lawn care guy. I've been coming for 3 years. Okay? So I'm like, okay. So she was like, well, you can finish. And it was just the way she was talking to me. She was talking at me like I'm a child, like she scolded me. So I just said, okay, cool. I got in my car. I packed up all my stuff, put my lawnmower back on the trailer, put my stuff on the trailer. I didn't finish cutting the yard. I didn't blow it off. I didn't do anything. I stopped what I was doing. I packed my shit up and I got the hell out of there. Okay, now this is what got me. After she said her kids are very protective of her mother, she said that she went to grab her phone to call the police. Then she looked outside and saw it was me. She literally told me she dialed 911 and looked outside and saw it was me and hung up. She took it that far, which I know she was lying, but she took it that far. I said, okay, cool. So I think her husband called me. And I said, listen, man, I don't want no problems with anybody. I said, but I don't feel comfortable cutting the yard no more. I've been cutting the yard for 3 years. Never had a problem. She's talking about calling police and all this type of stuff. So now I don't feel comfortable because I don't know where her head's at. I don't know why she's saying all this type of stuff. But I'd rather you be there when I cut the yard so it won't be no problems. And, me and him had a conversation. And, that was that. So I didn't go back. That was like maybe September, October. I didn't go back. And she called me to apologize. And what happened was, some people think that when they see someone like me, I'm cutting grass, I'm dirty, sweaty. It's not a job it's not this glamorous look, this job where you look like you got money. When a lot of people that wear suits to their job every day, they're broke, just as everybody else, they're broke, they're just wearing a suit. But since I'm not wearing a suit and I'm not, all, clean cut and all this, I guess she felt that, she can treat me any way she want and I will put up with it because I need the money. So, and she didn't realize that I stayed, like, I could literally throw a rock and hit her house from here. She didn't realize that my house was right around the corner. She later on found out that my house was right around the corner, and I have a house like hers or better. She was like talking down at you as if she was just better. So she ended up calling to apologize, and then she gave me some lame excuse or whatever. So I was like, all right, cool. Had no more problems out of her, because what happened is that when I stopped coming, like I didn't go back the whole year. She called me that year and apologized, and she called me the following year, apologized again, and begged me to take her back. In which I did. I had no problems out of her ever since. No problems. So, I know earlier on, when you first starting out, you might be afraid to lose a customer because that's going to affect you greatly because you don't have that many customers when you first start out. But having a customer that doesn't respect you is like having no customer at all. Uh, if they begin to not respect you, you got to walk away. You know, it don't even matter how you walk away. If you know for a fact they don't respect you, you can walk away and don't call, don't nothing. Just no call, no show. Or you can tell them, I don't like the way you treat me. You're very disrespectful and I'll never come back. You can say that too. Doesn't matter. But again, if your customers don't respect you, you know, that's a rule that you should have. If they don't respect me, I'm not working for them. I'm not doing any work with them. Period. Because it's not going to work out. It doesn't matter what you do or what you say. That person is not going to have any respect for you. How about when you show up to do the lawn and right before you are done, they leave? Yep. I've had that happen. I have that happen. And they do it all the time. I've had that happen. But, the thing is that, like I said, once you see it, you just nip it in the bud. You nip it in the bud. And if you, I'm always cautious. And I'm always paying attention to what my customers say, what they do. If I get a new customer, I just pay attention. I look and see. I pay attention, and I look and see. I look and see what are they doing and how they acting, and how I also pay attention to, like, if they had a lawn care guy before, and I just kind of watch what they do, because sometimes if they had a lawn care guy and then they're not using him no more, and then they say, yeah, I had a lawn care guy, but I don't know what happened. Sometimes pay attention to that. I remember one time this girl called me, and she would say, yeah, I don't know why. It's just so hard to find good work. Like, when I call people, they'll come and I have them for a little while, then it just don't work out. And, got to pay attention, because if she's going through a lot of lawn care, like, there's an issue there with her, and you got to be real careful. Make sure that you're upfront with your prices. Don't be too lax. Don't be too lax with them when it comes to getting your money. Don't be too lax. Be firm but fair. All payments are due. If you can get your payment up front, that's cool. But let it be known that I'm sorry, guys, I'm looking at something. Let it be known that right. Let it be known that your payment is due after services are rendered, and be firm on it. I send an invoice when I do the job. I send my customers an invoice. I got the majority of my customers, and these are my new customers. They pay a month in advance. Like, they already, like, right now, my customers already paid for November, like October 31st or November. I send them an invoice and they pay, and that's the new thing I've been doing. I got a lot of customers that's been with me for a while, and they just put the money under the mat, or I send them an invoice and they pay it immediately. Like, I'll send the invoice at 5:15, and by 5:20 it's paid. So I have no issues with any of my customers or clients right now. They're all pay on time. I respect them. They respect me. Um, and I just make sure that I'm firm. I don't like the thing about it is you don't want to you want to come off as being mean. You don't want to come off as being rude. Well, I look at it this way. I'm not coming off being mean. I'm not coming off as being rude. If I'm asking for money that's owed to me, if I'm asking you to pay me what you already know, like that's not being mean. I mean, maybe you forgot. I'm just going to remind you. What if they don't pay? Well, I mean, it can happen. It can happen. Um, it depends on what it is. See, lawn care, like like lawn care, like when you're doing some yards may be 45, some may be 50, 60, 65, all the way up to $100, depending on the size of their yard. Um, Sometimes, I mean, it can happen. I've never had someone not to. Oh no, yes, I've had someone to do that. I have. I'm just thinking about it. One time, I had somebody not to do that, but you're not losing a lot of money unless now if I'm doing a big job, I always get half of it up front. I always get half of it up front. Like I'll be doing a few pine straw jobs this week. I always get paid. I usually get all of the payment up front. Like if I'm doing a big job, like sometimes I have a job where I'm doing trimming the bushes, trimming the crepe myrtles, laying pine straw, cutting the yard. I get my payment up front, the whole payment up front, and I never have a problem. But my customers, I've been dealing with them for a while, and I just don't have any problems. But if they don't pay, you just have to take that loss unless you want to take them to court. And take them to court, if you add the court fees, they may not even show up. You know, if you add the court costs and everything, they may not even show up. Plus the time you're going to waste sitting in the courtroom. Sometimes it's just not worth it. You just take it on the chin and walk away from it and just learn from it. It's going to happen. You know, if somebody's going to do something foul, it's going to happen. Yeah, you can make a pay. You can do what you want. You can do what you want. Let me explain something to you guys. What I do don't mean you have to do it. You can do contracts. You can do disclaimers. You can do whatever. I mean, if that's what you want, but I mean, it's lawn care. It's $40, $50 lawns. You know, maybe a lawn, maybe your biggest lawn might be 150, maybe $200. But for the most part, most of my lawns, I'll have five of them in a row, and they'll be 50 apiece. You know, I go to another street, I have another three or four in a row. You know how I go, so that's how I do it. So like, the money that you're dealing with is not enough to be trying to write up a contract and do all this and do all that. You know, it's just it's so many lawn care guys that are not doing contracts. If you tell them I need my money up front, they'll be like, "Well, I go with this guy. He doesn't need his money up front." You know, so I mean, if you can, I get a lot of money up front from my customers, but that's not a that's not a deal breaker for me. Like if somebody doesn't want to give me the money up front and they want to pay as we go, I'll do that. Now if they, because they're trusting you, it's got to be trust too. There's got to be trust. I'm trusting you, you trusting me. So I'm cutting your yard, and I'm gonna trust that you're gonna pay me afterwards. You don't do it, then I'm gonna cut your yard again. But for the most part, most people do it. You know, people are not calling you to rip you off. They're not calling you on the phone to say, hey, come cut my yard, I'm not going to pay you. That's just not what happens. It's just somewhere along the line, they just feel like, well, you know what, I can get away with this. You know, maybe it's the way that you acted, or maybe you didn't do anything. Maybe they're just going to take a chance and try to play with you. But when they do it, you know, you stand up for yourself. I mean, but what you're going to do, the only thing you can do if they don't pay you is take them to court. And, you know, because if you put your hands on them, or if you destroy their property or do something like that, then, you know, they can double back and say, oh, I was going to pay him. I was just, you know, because this is what the court going to say. This is what the court going to say. If you go to court, and I've been in plenty of courtrooms, if you go to court and somebody owes you money, they're going to ask you, hey, did you give him enough time to pay your money? Did he tell you that he was going to pay you at a later date? Did you try to work out a payment plan with him? Did you try to do this? They're going to ask all those questions. You know, so so that's what I'm trying to tell you. You can jump the gun. You know, you can jump the gun and do something foolish, and you know you're going to lose. Trust me, I know. I've made the mistakes of getting angry and making a split-second decision and you know, and then I'm the bad guy. You know, and what you're gonna do is gonna overshadow what they did, and it's not gonna even be about them not paying you. It's gonna be about what you did. Right. They're gonna do that too. They're gonna do that too. And the fact that you're not their only customer is I mean, if I lose 3 or 4 customers, is A&A gonna fold? No. I mean, I get new customers. I get new customers all the time. I get new clients all the time. All the time. Right. 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 Yeah, it's just you know, the thing is that you can write all the contracts you want. You could do, you know, I hear you, EA. The truth is, I mean, you could do whatever you want. It's just that, you know, I mean, people break contracts all the time. I mean, just because you got something right, don't mean they're gonna hold up to it. I mean, you could take them to court. Um, I mean, I've been in courts. You know, I was a police officer. I sat in courtrooms like for 10 years. You know, and to see what goes on in these courtrooms, it's just the people that done nothing wrong always get the short end of the stick. It's not set up. It's like it's set up for the people who don't do right. Uh, but if somebody decides that they're not going to pay you, you know, the earlier you walk away from them, the better, man. Uh, I mean, yeah, because I pay attention to those people, man. Like, um, you know, they got nice cars, or they got nice purses and nice bags, and you know, they're paying everybody else, but they decide they're not going to pay you because they paid everybody else. You know, you know, it's just simply time to walk away. It's just not worth it. But yeah, I've had customers that were like that. I've had customers that would literally. I had customers like that that actually thought that and those are customers that they don't have respect for you because they think that they're your boss. Some people think because I'm paying you that I'm your boss. and you have some that will treat you like that. Sometimes, like when it rains, let's say it's been raining all week. It's been raining all week, and you behind, and you can't get to them, and you tell them, hey, I'm not gonna be able to do your yard because it's too wet. I had to tell a customer. I had a customer get mad. She kept calling me, and I said, ma'am, I said, I don't think you understand. I said, I think you don't understand. If I come cut your yard today, my lawnmower is gonna destroy your yard. Your yard holds a lot of water. It is too wet. If I put my lawnmower on your yard, because I'm not push mowing that lawn, it's too big. And I said, let it dry out, and I will come and cut it. And I said, but if you want me to come out there now and put ruts and skid marks and trenches and everything all through your yard, I'll be glad to come and destroy your yard. And I just told her that. She got mad. I just said, okay, fine. And then she called me. Later on and apologized. Because sometimes you just got to let people hear themselves. You just got to let them hear themselves. You just let them talk, and you just repeat to them what they said and let them hear themselves. And sometimes they'll feel stupid, and some people will just, they'll just stay stupid. And so, that's just how it is. What is she going to do? Fire you? That's what I'm saying. Right. Piss poor planning on their part does not constitute an emergency on mine. I see you. Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing, man. That's what it is. And I think the mentality that we have, um, the mentality that we have, because we've worked for companies and worked for employers for so long, that um, that we work for employees and employers so long that sometimes we forget that we own our own business. And it's not like we got like a business where we have a bunch of employees and we have a staff. Sometimes it's just us and a few other people, or sometimes it's just us. And you kind of get into the mentality like you work for these people, because they basically tell you what they want done, and then you're doing it. But it's not like that. You have more leverage than you think you do. You have a lot of leverage. Uh, every time you get a new customer, every time you get a new client, you're gaining more leverage, And I started off with some decent clientele, and I had some real good clientele, and I had some people that were, like I explained to you earlier, the problems that I was having. I had those type of people, and like it wasn't until I started getting the real good clients, like the clients that I have now, that's when I started to realize that like I ain't got to put up with this, because five of those good clients will are so much better than 10 of those bad clients, 10 of those people that don't respect you, those five, you know. And so that's what I'm saying, man. When you start seeing, it's kind of like when you go do a detail. It's like when you go do a detail and you tell them, yo, it's gonna be $100. You get done with the job and they give you $150. That customer just paid for them and a low paid customer. That one customer paid your good price and they paid you the price of a customer that really don't want to pay. So you'll start looking around and just say, you know what? Let me start getting rid of these people. And that's what I started doing. I started getting rid of some people. There was a time I had to get rid of some people that were too far. It wasn't because they were bad customers. They were just simply too far. And just driving out there, every 2 weeks. When I add up the money and everything, gas and everything, it just wasn't worth it. And I just thought to myself, I could save more time if I just got more customers in my area. So, and I explained that to them. I had some good customers that I had to let go. But it wasn't because they didn't respect me. It was just simply because it was just too far. Right. Plus they pass on by word of mouth. And then the thing about it is when you're in these nice areas, people see you. Like I do yards in this little cul-de-sac. I got 2 cul-de-sacs where I do yards. And matter of fact, I got 3 cul-de-sacs. Yeah, I got 3 cul-de-sacs where I do yards, and it all happened because I got one person, and then the neighbors will just see me. They'll see me for a few years coming and do the yard over and over again. They'll be like, hey, I trust him. He's here like clockwork. He lives right around the corner. He's here like clockwork. He appears to be dependable because I see him every week. He does a good job. He cares about it. He's professional. I'm gonna give him a shot. And before you know it, I got 4 or 5 yards in the same area. And of course, I know they went and talked to the neighbors. You think he can do me? You think he can squeeze me in? How is he? Oh, okay. So y'all remember that. Never do business. Never do any work for somebody that doesn't respect you. And you can see it by the way they talk, what they say to you, how they respond to you. Don't even they don't answer your phone calls, don't respond to your text messages. Just straight disrespect. If it's someone that you respect, you're gonna respond to their text messages. And all I say is think about someone that you don't respect. Think about someone you don't respect. Are you gonna call them to do any services for you? Are you gonna pay them? Are you gonna? Just certain things. Just certain ways. You're gonna treat a person that you don't respect. What's going on, Master Lawn Care? I see you. Just think about it. If I didn't respect the person, I wouldn't go as far as not paying them if they did a service for me, but I probably wouldn't even let them do a service for me. I've noticed that people I don't respect, I don't listen to anything they say. I don't want to hear nothing they got to say. I don't care what they say. I don't listen to any advice they try to give me. Yo, the Metro's doing pretty good. I finally had to replace the engine last year. It's doing good. It's a 2013, I think. And y'all Y'all know you if you've been watching the videos, you know I put that thing to the test. But I still got it and I still use it. It's the only commercial lawnmower I have. I see you, Uvi. What's going on? Right. Yeah, they'll do that, man. Those things only gonna give you so many hours. They'll last a long time. Uh, yeah, they'll last a long time. Those metros, they'll go through a lot, but yeah, they'll blow out on you too. So, like just keep your money saved up. Just keep your money saved up, and when something happens, just replace the engine and keep it moving, or replace the cylinder head like you had to do and keep it moving. All right, don't ride dirty. I see you. Yeah, man. But again, man, right. I see you, EA. But yeah, you guys, man, that's just something I want to leave with you guys. I just be thinking about stuff all the time, and I just think about stuff all the time, and just think about where I first started and where my mind was at, and you know, I always think back to that so it can humble me. I know I've came a long way, still got a long way to go, but I I just thought that that was something that was very important that I had to let you guys know. I don't think I've ever talked about this ever in any of my videos, but that's very important. I don't know why I've never brought it up, but I see that a lot because who's gonna pay you this top money if they who's gonna pay you top dollars if they don't respect you? You know, and they don't respect what you do or respect your craft or your skill level. I mean, who's gonna pay you? Who's gonna pay you 200, 300, 400 for a detail? You know, it makes sense. I see you, Dewan Jones. What's going on? Makes a lot of sense. So y'all remember that, and at the same time, uh, if you feel like you're getting disrespected, and you're not being respected, and it's happening a lot, you're gonna have to check yourself and see what you're doing to get that disrespect. Uh, sometimes I know that I can maybe say things to make someone feel some type of way. Uh, it's not my intent, and that's why I kind of think of when I got something to say, I kind of think it through before I say it. That's why sometimes when I'm talking, y'all can kind of see like I'll kind of slow down and pause because I'm thinking like, okay, how can I say what I'm saying? So I make sure that I'm not coming across because like I'm very blunt. Like I can be blunt and sometimes hurt people's feelings. So um, sometimes if somebody asks me a question and I want to say something, but if I'm looking at the person and just the knowledge that I've gained on that person, most of the time I know I can't say that, so I have to think what I gotta say. So yeah, but make sure you check yourself too. Always check yourself first. You ain't responsible for them. You're responsible for you. So check yourself. You know. Appreciate that, Dewan Jones. I see you. Appreciate this. Appreciate the super chat. I appreciate it. You're welcome. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I always try to give you guys, you know, and I think that's why I don't have as many subscribers as other uh, YouTubers on here. Because YouTubers just get right to, the products and the cars and this and that. And I try to throw a little bit of cars in there, touching paint and doing my thing, just to let you guys know. Just to let you guys know that I do this. I've been doing a little bit of recording. I recorded a job Friday. Oh, was that Friday? Yeah, I recorded a job Friday. So I'll be dropping something pretty soon. But I like to show work just to let you guys know that I'm the real deal, because a lot of guys on here, YouTube, they don't do this every day. They're more, uh, you know, like to do product reviews and sell things, and which is cool. I mean, more props to them. I like what they're doing, but I just think that discussions like this and talks like this is missing. I pay attention to what's going on, and everybody. Well, I wouldn't say they stunt, man, because if you've been doing this for any amount of time and you listen to what they're saying, they know what they're talking about. It's just some knowledge that people gives you. It has to come from experience. When it comes to detailing or lawn care, when you listen to them talk, just like Ronald Miller, when he said that as soon as you come out there, when you're about to finish up or before you finish, they leave. That's someone that's been doing it. That's someone that's been in the business, because that's what some people do. They'll let you get out there and start cutting the yard, and then they'll try to get out of there before you finish, so they don't have to pay you. I've had that to happen a few times. So but I'm saying that to say, like, all I got to do is listen to them, and a lot of them are not stuntmen. A lot of them just don't do mobile detailing anymore. They don't drive around. They may do a few cars in their garage, or and some of them are retired, up in age, and they're not doing that type of work anymore. They're just trying to use their experience and their knowledge to make money off that, and not actually go out there and work. And then some of them, they probably was never full time. They probably had jobs and did it here and there, but long enough to get some experience. But what's missing is that they never talk about the business side. I rarely see that. Some of them dibble and dabble in it a little bit, but they like to talk about the products, the equipment, how to do this, how to do that, polishing, buffing, interiors and stuff like that, which you have to know all that stuff. But they don't talk about the business. They don't talk about customers, that how to get the customers, and what demographic to go to, and they tell you, yeah, you should charge this much, but they don't break it down. They say, oh, you can make $100 an hour, but they don't break it down how to make $100 an hour. Or $50 an hour, 75, or whatever you're trying to make. They don't tell you any of that, because I know you guys are watching their videos. But then when I go in my comment section, or my DMs, or my text messages, how do I start? How do I get customers? Those are the two biggest questions that I get. How do I get started? How do I get customers? And I get sometimes I get this. I got all my equipment. I got this. I got that. I got this. I've done that. This, blah, 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 blah. Okay, how do I get customers? And I'm thinking to myself, so you telling me you don't went and spent thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars, and you haven't thought about customers until after you got the stuff? That's weird. You know? So, anyway, I'm about to get out of here, man. If you guys got any questions for me, go ahead and ask them now. I'll stay on here for a few minutes, and I'll answer a few questions. So, stick around. If you got anything else you want to say, go ahead and say it now. All right, now, y'all go ahead and join the new Facebook group. If you're not a member, go ahead and join right now. New Wave Facebook group is this logo right here. Just go to Facebook, type in New Wave. You're going to see that logo right there. In the middle of that logo, you're going to see the AA logo that's on my chest. New Wave by ANA Facebook group. Go ahead and join today. It's a lot of people on there giving out tips, knowledge. They showing off their work, showing what products they use, what equipment, stuff like that, man. It's a lot of experience on that channel. I don't know everything. I can't answer everything. But if you go there and you put a question out there, somebody will answer your questions. A lot of great guys on there from, we got people from Spain, Australia, Africa, all over the nation, all over the globe. Go over there and join. Hope to see you guys there. Join right now. Just send a request to join, and I accept everybody. It's easy to get in, and it's easy to get kicked out too. So if you do something stupid, you know how I do. I'm gonna kick you off. But I haven't had to kick many people off. Everybody there is respectful. I would love for everybody to go there and join. If you're not on there, go now. Again, it's New Wave by ANA Facebook group. When you go to Facebook, you type in New Wave, and right there, that's what's gonna pop up. New Wave by ANA. Also, you're gonna have the ANA logo in the middle. Join up. All right, I'm out. Appreciate you guys for stopping by, man. Don't forget to hit the like button and share this video for whoever you think it may help out. I'm out, man. Shouts out to the New Wave. Peace.